Hello, welcome to Demachi's channel. Today we're going to open another box of Unlimited Star Trek The Next Generation, the premiere series. So these are 95 betas, so let's get started there. So okay, so we have Japon, The Traveler's Transcendence, Toral, and Savrik as the rare. We have Atmospheric Ionization, Karom, Asteroid Sanctuary, Talus, Federation Pad, Micro Iris, Tomek, Rogue Borg Mercenaries, Long Range Sand, Thigh, and Wormhole. So that's our first out of the box. So as we have done a few different cards so far, we are doing this. This is an entire box of 36 packs. So on to pack number 2. So, incoming message Federation, full planet scan, Genetronic Replicator, and Kalar. No, I'm not saying that right. Anyways, so Kalar, Simon Taris, Espionage Federation on Klingon, Subspace Interference, Disruptor Overload, Emergency Transporter Armbands, Tarvik, Toll, and the Runabout. The Romulan Pad, Pattern Enhancers, and a Scan. So, not a terrible start. As this goes, I mean, it's not as exciting as some of the stuff we look forward to in future episodes, where we've got a box of Mirror there, Trouble with Tribbles, and the last box in this first set of series, which will be a box of Borg. So we have the IKC Vorn, Devone Roll, Joe Brill, and Investigative Probe. And as I said in a couple of the test videos, realistically, missions should never be rares. And unfortunately, this set has a lot of rares in missions. Sin, Type 6 Shuttlecraft, Microbiotic Colony, Red Alert, Callaway, Vecma, Clag, Espionage, English, Klingons on Federation, Medical Kit, Devok, and Medical Tricorder. Well, that one was a little less fun. It was nice to get 2 rare personalities in the first 3. We're gonna go off. So here's Nikolai Roshenko, or Worf's adopted brother, if you prefer. Tie back, the Portal Guardian, and Investigate Road Combat. So it'll also have a Klingon Pad, Federation with Klingon Treaty, Tarket, Gancy, a Type 6 shuttlecraft, Red Alert, Callaway, Clang. This seems really, really similar up to this Particle Fountain, and then Devok, which was, again, really similar. So it's, we're now on to pack 4, I think, or possibly pack 5. I would open the packs on camera, but the reach is terrible. And then, so Bach, REM fatigue hallucinations, incoming message Klingon, and interface generators are rare. Then we have a Type 6 shuttlecraft, microbiotic colony, a USS Galaxy, an escape pod, a Red Alert, a Callaway, a Vecma, a space dock, an engineering pad, a Clang, and a espionage Klingon Federation. So that is what it is. So moving on from that, we're gonna look at some other stuff. Okay, next pack here. Okay, so we have a hologram Roos, a Q2, a Carmel, and a D for or Ross, I guess is how that is. Then a Treaty Federation Romulan, Taurus, USS Nebula, a Impassable Door, where no one's gone before, and Christopher Hobson's. Then we have an Evacuation, Solar Study Stellar Collision, a Repair Mission, a Tetrion Veiled, and a Uranian Shuttle. So that is that. Oops. See how tippy the camera is? It's unfortunate, but unfortunately, I can't do anything about it. That's just the way that it is. It's just on a tripod, and that's why it would so. So here's a Hannah Bates, and then a Distortion Field, then Governor Vogue, and a Time Travel Pod. Varel, Polar Toff, Plasma Fire, Simon Taurus, Disruptor Overlord, Emergency Transporter, Runabout, Romulan Pad, Tree Federation and Romulan, Taurus, and another Impassable Door. So that is definitely weaning off that strong start. So let's see what we get next. I know the previous box of this that I bought only yielded 4 bridge or main characters. So vastly depends how you look at that, but yeah, let's move on. So we got a Lacor, Dr. Reggae, a Chempak, which surprisingly is an uncommon, and then we have a Toreth, you know, which is like, hi, here's a Romulan with leadership, honor, and navigation. If you wonder why she's a rare, that honor is part of it. Then we have Space Duck, Microvirus, Tomek, which is the one of 2 holograms that the Romulans have in this set. Rogue Borg Mercenaries, Medical Kit, Bajek, Thile. I'm just going to hilariously pronounce that differently each time I see it, I think. Wormhole, Varel, Romulan Disruptor, Plasma Fire. Plasma Fire is definitely an interesting card. Certainly, really early on, it was a card that was used a lot because you could damage a ship until security put it out. So it was basically at least it was basically a damage ship. And the way damage works is sort of like a 2-part system of, you know, you damage it, then you destroy the ship. So if security didn't put it out in turn 1, you were kind of probably not going to put it out at all, as it would destroy the ship. So if you were on a planet or something, you might beam down, if that was an option. But if you're on a space mission, you're kind of hooped. Much later, it became kind of one of those events where it's just like not economical to stock it, but you certainly can still do that. All right, so we have Kalval, Hyper Aging, Parem, and then Admiral Nechikov. Yeah, so it's not terrible. It's not a great rare, but it's not terrible. It's also a rare that's fetchable with a couple cards because of the fact that it has only 2 skills. Then we have a Combat Vessel, an Interrupt, Tachyon Detection Grid. I read the wrong thing. This is a test mission. This is Investigation of Admiralty. This is a Fever Emergency. This is Gorta. This is a Klingon pad. This is a Romulan outpost. This is a Treaty, Federation, and Klingon. Taket. And Betrel. So I will look at doing later a little video on what symbols and stuff mean on various cards in an effort to sort of broaden the CCG information on Star Trek. I've lost track of where we are in the box. It looks like we're somewhere around a quarter. Anyways, so Neridium Metal Parasites, Mirak, Shaka When the Walls Fell. That was a good episode. And a Wind Dancer, which is a dilemma that of middling value. This was definitely one of those dilemmas that was a little more potent in the earlier part of the series, when sort of youth and music were still at a premium, or strength greater than 9 was still sort of at a premium. However, as the sets broadened up, that was definitely not the case here. We got a Starfleet Phaser 2, a McKnight, an Archer, a Jadon, a USS Excelsior, Dr. Frelick, an engineering kit, a combat vessel, and a test mission. Oops, those stuck together. Investigated abnormality, and then our Gorta. So it is definitely an interesting set of items, and we are going to kind of enjoy that. So that's kind of that. So, next one is a cloaked mission. This is Romulus, actually. Two-dimensional creatures. First Contact, which is Malcor 3. That was also a good episode. And we got Sir Isaac Newton, one of the 3 physicists or science people that Data was playing poker with in that one episode. So there's this Stephen Hawking, which is the one I find seems to be the rarest one to find, and Albert Einstein, which I think is actually the most common in my collection, though not necessarily the most common ever. We have another Gorda, a Klingon pad, Romulan outpost, phased matter, Linda Larson, Treaty Federation Klingon, exobiology, Ventrell, Clegg, Treen, and Goodstein. Definitely Decipher definitely used some interesting naming conventions. Some of these people are not even named in script, so they're unnamed. Several of the Klingons like that. Clegg is the Klingon telling Duras that Worf is here for his right of vengeance, which is also a card. So hopefully we'll get one of those so I can show you that. So we got Riva. We got Matriarchal Society. We got Dr. Selkler. And we have Q. Q is in the house. Yeah, so Q is always fun. Varel. Palar Tossoff. Plasma Fire. Simon. Espionage Federation on Klingon. Disruptor Overlord. Emergency Transporter Bands. Tariq. Runabout. Romulan Pad. Pattern Enhancers. So, yeah. So, obviously, if you know some of the mechanics, some of these cards make a little more sense to you. If not, then there's not really the same level of stuff. You're basically here for the personalities. And maybe hopefully you might be here for me bantering about some of this episodes and that. Let's go with one of my least favorite Next Generation people, Eric Preston. Holo projectors, even though that's not really a holo projector, but anyways. Alien abduction, and then we get Ali Dark Jarok, who is a Romulan admiral. Particle fountain, Type 2 phaser, Magnite, Dekoth, Archer, Jadon. Oh, Jadon had something attached to him. Static warp bubble. USS Excelsior, Dr. Fleck, Vorcha, and an engineering kit. So it's interesting. Basically, engineering kits allow an officer to use a skill of a different branch. So a medical kit lets you be medical. The engineering kit allows you to be an engineer, that kind of thing. And then the tricorders, I believe, allow scientists, so somebody with a science in their big box, to have to be able to do the same thing, where they will then be able to do a medical kit or medical or engineering or something to that effect. And then there are pads that work the same way for a different resource. So using a ship, so it's always nice. Masca transformations, Cal North, and explore Dyson Sphere. So I wonder if you can find Scotty with that. Montreal, by the way, Scotty makes that a lot easier. It's alright. Clag, mercenary ship. Netrick, the main warbird class, the microbiotic colony again, U.S. Galaxy, Crom, Asteroid Sanctuary, Tullus, and Vecma, who is famous for propositioning Commander Riker when he visits the POG. So that's definitely an interesting thing. I always thought it was kind of funny. He seemed a little apprehensive about that. I mean, the man seemed to be able or willing to have relations with almost everything else. So, yes. All right, now we've got the birth of Junior. Beryl, Tartarian plague ship, and Kurgan, which is the captain of the PAG, which I just mentioned. Not the sharpest Klingon in the drawer. Tacky, long range scan, tricorder. So, like, this gives an engineer science skill. And you can see that. So, in the center of this Tash, or K-Tash, you can see that there's a label that says engineer. So, this is an engineer. So, with a tricorder, he could use science as well. Escape pod. Palartolov. Loss of ability stabilizers, Miranda class, and here's a pad which allows science to use engineering, and then Menden, and then the anaphasic organism, which is the ghost that inhabited. Well, in that picture, it's inhabiting Dr. Crusher's maternal grandmother, I believe. That's always a good start. So we're working on that, and there we are. Okay, so Koroth, Cernan Karami, that's a strict-judged gamist person. Near warp transport. By the way, this episode this makes no sense. Like, there's no, you couldn't save enough time, and then the ship goes to like warp 7 or something. It doesn't even go to like warp 9. So the milliseconds it matters, it shaves off, is not really. So study a hole in space. Don't even remember what episode that is. Atmospheric ionization. Chrome. Asteroid Sanctuary. Haven't seen that since the first pack. Or maybe the second. Talus. Here's a Federation pad, which gives you cunning. That's microbiologist. So the base pad gives you cunning, +2 to cunning. Phasers, or disruptors, give you +2 to strength. And this is Tomac. I don't think there's anything that actually gives you strength or +2 to integrity, though. Rogue Borg, long range scan, Faye, and a wormhole. All right. So I know it's super riveting. I know the mirror box, the tribbles, and the Borg will be a little better because it won't have some of those slots with missions in it, and the rare will more likely be, though not exclusively, it's going to be like ships and personnel a little more. This set, the rares are spread along the whole gambit of the thing, and it took them a while to sort of get the idea of, you know what, people don't want rares that are missions or dilemmas, or something that, you know, has a certain amount of restriction to begin with. Catal, alien parasites, diplomatic mission. Speaking of rares in that are missions, here's Investigate Massacre. Yay! That's Christopher Hobson. Engineering, combat vessel. Tech and detection grid. Here's the Klingon Rite of Vengeance. So in that 4-shot that's really blurry, that's Duras. Very dead. As an interesting point, Worf is totally right now at this point in time a Klingon pariah. And the fact that the Rite of Vengeance even allowed him on a Klingon ship to enact it, and that Duras couldn't just say no, like very noteworthy in that scene. They could not say no. Repair mission, test mission, investigate abnormality, fever emergency, terrain, and a Federation outpost. Yeah. So, definitely one of those things that was really interesting was that Worf, despite his decommendation, was able to get onto a Klingon ship by basically keep telling people, yeah, I'm here to kill somebody and Rite of Vengeance. All right. Okay, so here's a Soren. This was the non-binary people who were like, everybody was middle, and then having gendered things looked as bad. Alien Probe. Corel. And yes, New Contact. And again, we have a rare that is a mission. So Relief Mission, Steady Plasma Streamer, Covert Installation, Male Love Interest, Treaty, Romulan versus Klingon, Zabaxian Transport, Klingon Outpost, Siso Jaxa, Mercenary Ship, Narik, and Roman Warbird. And of course I dropped cards on the floor. Sorry, that's going to delay me slightly. Don't know what I'm going to do when there's not stuff in the shot. Because the camera sits about a foot in the air. So the Juggler, Tebok, Torak, the Vulcan Stone of Gull, Espionage, Romulan Federation, well, Fever Emergency. It's such in a hurry to go down. Darien. Relief Mission. Steady Plasma Streamer. Covert installation. Romulan outpost. Phase matter. Romulan Klingon treaty. Zippian transport. Klingon outpost. Again, excitement. All right, here's an Amanda Rogers. Just something we haven't seen yet. And a Shara Yar. So it's Yar's sister. Nutational shields. The scout ship Pi. This is the one that Galandan Core that gets... that the feds get rescue. Talon, long range scan, tricorder, Katesh, escape pod, Palartola, loss of orbital stability, Miranda class, engineering pad, Menden, and a plastic organism. As an interesting point, though, a lot of people sit there and go, wow, the Excalibur or the Excelsior and the Miranda class were really old ships. The models themselves weren't actually that old. The Miranda class coming from Khan, Rotha Khan, which was only a few years before in 1987 that TNG debuted. So, that's always an interesting quandary. But, yeah, I mean, some people are like, oh, the ships were so old. And I'm like, yeah, the models weren't actually that old. And they were handy. And that's why they got reused. Alright. So we have Marag, who is an uncommon. And I think one of 2 Klingons ever that has greed. Yvek. Obviously, this is one of those Cardassians before the Cardassians actually got their own faction. There is an Yvek in Cardassia. Incoming message: Romulan and Tomalak is our rare. We meet him several times. Sito, Terion Field, Iridian Shuttle, Federation Outpost, Atmospheric Isolation, Science Vessel, Valcor, which I haven't seen in this box yet. And then we have a second Linda, a Federation Pad, a Rescue, again, something I haven't seen in this box, and an Iconian computer weapon. We got, I think, 4 or 5 Iconian computer weapons in the other box. Which doesn't sound necessarily like a lock out of 36 packs when you consider it's a common, but then again, there are a lot more commons than there are. At least I think there is. You know what? I'd have to look at the distribution, because I think actually it might be even, where every slot has the same number of cards, but I'd have to double check that. Neural servo device. New dock, transwarp conduit, and our rare is Morgan Bateson. Morgan Bateson, who was stuck in a casualty loop for 90 years. It's also Fraser. It's an interesting cameo. I did enjoy it. I also enjoyed Down Periscope, which also stars Kelsey Grammer. I honestly sort of would like a Down Periscope-esque movie or show, although to some degree that's addressed in Lower Decks, but I was thinking more of a comedic group based on a bridge rather than sort of like Lower Decks, but whichever. Relief mission. I like lower decks. Plasma streamer. Covert installation. Male love interest. Which I think is just a passing shot in one of the Ryza episodes. I think it's Captain's Holiday, but I'm not positive. There are a couple trips to Ryza or Ryza-like locations, and I think that though is Ryza itself. We have our treaty, Romulan and Klingons. Whatever. Transport that we don't care about that we've seen 4 or 5 times now. Klingon outpost. Sito. Mercenary ship. Narek. And our generic Warbird. And I say generic because, I'm going to go back to this for a sec. Though that sort of diamond of squares, or however you want to kind of look at how it's done, is the universal, which allows you to have more than one in play at one time. So anything without that, you sort of can only have one in play at a time. So there are a number of cards that don't really conform to that, but then again, there are also cards that would normally be only in play at one time. Most notably dilemmas, because you're only going to have the dilemma up once. So we have Chorus. This is one of those Klingons in that early episode. We got Raise the Stakes, which is the anti-card, which was a mechanic in early CCGs, but everybody went away from it. Subspace Schism. Seek Life Form. Again, a mission rare, not super conducive to what we're looking for here. So it's a Tauren, Pateth, Tull, Jaron, Methar, Booby Trap, Subspace Rift, Scan, Espionage, Romulan on Klingon. That's Sella in that shot. This QNet, Enterprise, or Espionage, Romulan on Federation. This is at that when Data and Picard are on Romulus. And a USS Obreth, which is a reuse of the Grissom from Star Trek 3. So, yeah. So we're working on that. It's kind of funny, whereas Mirror draws from like a number or a couple different episodes. The Trouble with Tribbles is basically all in a single episode. An entire set built on a single episode. Kevin Uftridge, Energy Vortex, Vulcan Mind Meld, and Wormhole Negotiations. This is actually something I don't have a lot of in my collection. I think this will be the third, and I've opened tons of boxes of this. But then again, there's a USS Britannia in this set that I have never gotten in my life. So, whatever. There's a Klingon Disruptor, Pattern Enhancer, Archer, Science, Event, Selbach, USS Nebula, new USS Excelsior, Dr. Frank, Vorcha, and Corvort. Haven't seen a Corvort yet. It's our first Corvort, and it's a common. So, a little more than halfway through the box. See, we're at about 40 minutes here. Kind of was the thing, but I do know that opening the packs is a little bit time consuming. Distortion of Time Space Continuum. Nora Sade. Anne Marie. And Betazoid Gift Box, which is an artifact. Sito. Darien Field. Iridian Shuttle. Federation Outpost. Atmospheric Ionization. Science Vessel. Got Carworth. Linda, Federation Pad, Res Q, and Iconian Computer Weapon, which I believe is our second one in this box. Alright, so opening up this next one here. Oh, look. It's Mott. He's a civilian with barbering. He is the epitome of joke. It is nice that he's in the set. Because, you know, we actually see Mott a few times, and he is a bullion. Which we don't see lots of bullions. Actually, we don't see a lot of bullions in this game, ever. Tokath, Nausicaans, and then Thoughtmaker Artifact. Toril, Pathel, Paleth, Vorcha, K-Vort, Jaron, Booby Trap, Subspace, Warp, Rift, Attack and Detection Grid, Klingon Rite of Vengeance, Romulan on Klingon, and QNet, which is a interesting card. What does that take to get over it? 2 diplomacy. Alright, which is good for Federation. Everybody else kind of struggles with it. But again, it is an event where you're playing an event to hinder someone. And your mileage will vary on that. Alright. Auto-destruct. Gaps in normal space. Jenna Dosora. So, let's data. Jean-Luc Picard. Look at this man and his full skill set there. 6 skills, one of which is a ×2. Diplomacy, leadership, honor, archaeology, navigation, and music. There we go. Oh, we just need an Enterprise for him to command. Alright, Tree, Federation, Romulan, Stellar Cartography, Nebula, Obreth, Impassable Door, where no one's gone before. Christopher Hubskin, I'm a Bigot. Male Love Interest. Evacuation, or was it, is it evacuation or excavation? Excavation, sorry. Stellar Collision. And Repair Mission. So those are those. Very exciting to see Jean-Luc. In the other box there was a Riker, so and then there's the not controversial but kind of odd one of is this a bridge crew or not, where it's a regular Tasha Yar. Because does one season make you a bridge crew? Then again, does one season make you a medical officer for Dr. Pulaski? So this is the Eladron creature. Telepathic alien kidnappers, which sounds more like a conspiracy thing than anything. Plunder Site, and Leah Brahms. So there are 2 Leah Brahms. There's actually the hologram, one that, you know, Geordi gets caught, where it's sort of in love with him. And then this one where she's a double engineer. So you can see that she has the center here and the skill. So that makes her double engineer. So like Picard had diplomacy 2x, she basically has engineering 2x. Toril, Pileth, Tall, Duran, Booby Trap, Warp Rift, Scan, Espionage, Romulan, Klingon, QNet, Romulan Federation, Espionage, and Oboth Class. So exciting. I have to admit that once you get past the rare, it stops being very meaningful. It's only really interesting if you've not seen that card. So we have Benjamin Maxwell here. There's a Rebel Encounter. Kuros Suppression. And Karath. This was the Klingon scientist to evaluate the metaphysics shielding. Among the Klingons, she's actually quite decent. She has 4 skills, for example. Astrophysics, computer skills, physics, and honor. Astrophysics and physics are a little harder in Klingon. They're not terribly hard, but they're that. Loss of orbital stability, Miranda, Federation, Minden, plasma organism, particle fountain, stuff we've seen before. So much stuff. Phaser, McKnight, and Dorkroth. Yeah, all we've seen before. So hardly exciting. Yeah, so that's that. Next up. Yeah, so Lifeform Scan. Kelreal Odan. So this was the first time we saw Trills. And then Lore Returns. And Medical Kit. Bajak. Medical Tricorder. Medical. So the Jira here is the other hologram. That little atomic symbol actually means hologram. So that's Galoth, Romulan Disruptor, which we haven't seen a lot of. Korath, who was on Galron's ship during the Civil War. Ship Caesar, female loved interest. Ooh. That's genetically enhanced female love interest. Subspace, and a scout vessel. Always good. So, that is definitely that. Alright. That's just clunk of me. As I'm kind of interested in how many ships we have left. Or some packs we have left, which is 6. 6 packs. Alright then. So we'll get these 6 packs done here. So it looks like this will be just shy of an hour. So covert supply. This is to Kronos. So this is actually during the Civil War. This is a Feklar, which is one of the very few Klingon holograms. Radioactive garbage scow, and then Nagililum, which is worth bonus points. That's why there's a 5 there. It's a dilemma. Whatever. Dilemmas in rare spots are not fun. Realistically, all I want to see in a rare spot that's a dilemma is a Borg ship. We have Simon again. More espionage. Subspace interference. Disruptor Overlord, which I think we have not seen. Turek. Tall. Runabout. Romulan Pad. Pattern Enhancers. And a Scan. That was kind of lackluster, but you know, make do. So, Covert Rescue, which this is Galadna Core, an Exocomp. So out of 2 boxes, I have 2 Exocomps, which is an uncommon, which I get 3 per pack. So here's a Cosmic String Fan moment. Oh, oh my God. Sorry. So out of countless boxes, I don't have this US Britannia. Like seriously, I mean, we're talking 12, 14 boxes. This is the first one I've got this. I'm just building set binders later on this weekend, or at least I'm going to attempt to look at that. And this is literally something that I have one of. Phased matter, which we have seen. Clock, yeah. Ventral. J. Type 6. Microbiotic. Colony. US Galaxy. Callaway. Vecma. Base Stock. And, of course, a Klingon-Romulan Federation. Or Klingon on Federation espionage. So Alexander makes an appearance. Then we have Movar, Null Space, and we do have it. So here's Dr. Leah Brahms, but this is the hologram version, right? So this is the recreation. It is skill-wise the same. It has a little bit different, I think, spread on the integrity, cutting, and strength. But I'd have to double check exactly if it's how different it actually is. But this is the one that Jordy says that, or has it say that she loves him and stuff. Medical tricorders, Jera, Thing, people we've seen a half dozen times now. Ship seizure, female love interest. I'm just trying to give it equal time to the male love interest, and we have Stack Port Bubble. Salak, which I think we've only seen once before, and then a scout ship, which we've seen a few of now. So that is what it is. But I mean, at least we've looked at it. This box is super low on actual main characters. We have a Jean-Luc Picard out of main crew. Yeah, and we are on the last 3 packs. All right, Fleet Admiral Shanti. God, I haven't seen that episode in so long. Metaphasic Shielding, which is new, and Strategic Diversion. Then we get a Tam Abram, who's a 1-episode VIP, who has ×2 empathy and honor. Not exciting. Where No One's Gone Before. Excavation. Study Stellar. Field. Iridian Shuttle. Space Vessel. Veclor. Rescue. Iconian Computer. Tricorder. And Kitesh. Just as an interesting little note here, this Kitesh. This is from the scene where Worf is doing his... where they have the pain sticks, where he does his rite of ascension, I think it is, again. This is actually John Tesh. Like, from Entertainment Tonight, a whole bunch of modern contemporary songs, that kind of thing. Yeah, so, like, this is them doing a cameo. The character doesn't have a name, he's just, like, I think the lead guy in the pain sticks. But, yeah, that's actually, under all that makeup, is John Tesh. Which, yeah, it's more of a boomer thing than anything, but, I mean, I know who John Tesh is, but from when I was a kid. And I am no longer a kid. Whole generation, or 2 technically, has been raised since. So here's Secret Salvage. This is Wolf 359, which is the Borg wreckage. So this is the implication here. This is from one of the shots they had for that episode where they're going through it in Best of Both Worlds, I think in 2, when they're going through it looking for lifestyles. Aliso Gana, which is, uncommon. But this is the first one in this box. Torg, I think we might have seen one yet, but it's one at most, or 2 at most in this box, 1 now. And that is a Explore Black Cluster, and again, that is our 6th mission rare. Treaty Federation ROM. Taurus, Nebula, Oberth, Passable Door, where no one's gone before. Christopher, I'm a Bigot. Male Love Interest. Excavation. Stellar Collision. Repair Mission. I have to admit that a lot of these stills are super good, considering the kind of footage they would have come off. This game came out in early '94, and so DVDs were a thing, but, you know, pulling footage off they would have been pulling footage probably off the archive. Or perhaps Paramount gave them a set of images drawn from the thing, where possibly as much as every main frame in 30 was probably given to them. I don't know. That's just random speculation on me. I haven't researched it at all. This is the last pack, so this video is going to be done soon here. All right, so we have Assault, Neural. It was the Proconsul that we see in that episode where Data and Picard have gone to Romulus. This is Sportra, which is one of the people they rescue from Galactic Core. This is the person who they do. So this is investigated sighting. So this is the Gomantu, which is like an organic ship. When we saw Tam earlier, that was the it was him and the other and Deanna, who sort of contact the ship and get it, and then Tam runs away with the ship. In the end, I can't remember exactly the whole thing. I haven't seen that episode in ages. It is not among my favorites. It's kind of slow, and the payoff is never really there, and Tam is not a character that I ever really had any interest in, so it's an episode. It's one of those episodes where you know, some people like it, some people don't. And then we have Medical Kit, Bajak, Medical Tricorder, Jera, Guy, Romulan Disruptor, Goloth, Ship Seizure, Female Love Interest. Ooh. Subspace, Interference, and a Scout Ship. That was a very, very, very disappointing box overall. I'm glad you're here for it, though. So this is the first in the, I guess, a 4-part series of me opening boxes. And I'm going to probably do some other content related to Star Trek CCG at various points in time in the next few weeks. So I look forward to that. So our next box will be, as you can very clearly see, I should center this better. There we are. So the box of Mirror is the next box we're gonna do. I do one of those things. This is normally where the YouTube person thanks you for the algorithm and the potential, you know, where you like and subscribe. I really love the like. The subscribe is your choice. I definitely am one of those creators who's never found his niche. So, like, if you look at some of my past videos, it's all over the place. This is just what I'm currently doing. Who knows what I'll be doing in, you know, a couple weeks, couple months. I may move off to something else. I may take another break. It sort of depends if any of this is well received. I am one of those people who likes feedback and thing when I feel like I am talking to an empty room, which is sort of ironic because most creators actually do talk to an empty room unless they're doing a live. It is what it is. So thank you very much for viewing this. If you got this far, I mean, you get a gold star, and I appreciate it. you have yourself a really, really, really good day, okay? Thank you very much. You have a good day.